Hi. On January 27th and 28th, we really continued to look at moon phases in class. So again, it's our same learning targets. We talked about the moon not producing its own light. We only see it because it reflects light from the sun. We talked about that moon's 4-week counterclockwise orbit around the Earth, how the cause of moon phases is a perspective. It's a viewpoint where the moon is orbiting around the Earth and we see a different angle or view in that month-long trek. We're seeing a little bit different amounts of that lit portion or phase of the moon. Each phase of the moon lasts about 3.5 days, so we should be able to look at maps or diagrams and calendars and count out how many days between each of the phases. So after we did our warm-ups, we took our lunar phase learning check. Please make sure that you do go through, you update, you add your grade to your learning targets when you're finished with that. Review your answers. It'll be available for you to do a second attempt on later. Do make sure that you really understand the material and reach out and ask questions. The second attempt will be different than the first attempt. So you want to make sure you understand anything that you missed before you go and try it again. After we did the lunar phase learning check, we looked at a bar graph or creating a bar graph of the amount of illumination or lit portion of the moon we view over the course of a month. So you're going to click on the appropriate link and download or make a copy of the Google slide. And this is really similar to the comparing day lengths bar graph that we made when we started looking at seasons. You're going to select and copy each bar. So Control C or Command C to copy, and then Control V or Command V to paste. You're going to paste the different bars for the different days of the month that are provided, and then stretch that bar out. Just click on it and drag it up and stretch out to represent the illumination. And you're going to go through and look at some questions that go along with your bar graph, as well as some diagrams and almost a digital card sort. Just like with the seasons one, it's really important you understand perspective. So make sure you're identifying first where's the sun or where's the light source coming from in your diagram. Remember also your anchor point. You want to start by finding new moon. New moon is always in between the sun and the earth. So for instance, here, when the moon is in between the earth and the sun, we're experiencing a new moon because the earth is looking at the night side or the back of the moon that's not getting light. And then as it revolves counterclockwise, we see different portions. But always start with the new moon. If you know that the moon in between the earth and sun is called a new moon, and then you know that it goes counterclockwise, go in order, learn your moon phases. After a new moon, it'll wax or get bigger on the right, growing bright until it's full. And then the second half of the moon cycle, the last 2 weeks, we'll see waning moons. So to be waning means to be decreasing in how much light we see. So on the left, less and less. So we really practiced looking at that and finishing the assignment where we're making our graph. We watched a video that I would encourage you to watch that's linked here in number 5, and just practice. Like, it's all about saying the words out loud. Watch that video, say the names of the phases over and over again as you're watching them, and pay attention. It's a pattern. It's a predictable cycle. As far as independent work, don't forget, please, to submit your warm-ups for the week. You should be getting hundreds on those. We go over the questions and answers at the beginning of each class. And there's also a video linked. If you don't make class, you can hear a teacher go through and talk about like strategies and how to answer them and essentially give you the answers. The other piece of independent work that's really important that you have done by next class is there's a Nearpod assignment where you're going to start to learn about tides. We are almost at the end of our unit, so it's really important that you are not behind or letting work pile up. Next week when we return, we're going to wrap up tides and kind of put it all together in a review. At the end of next week, we'll have our unit test over rotation, revolution, day, night, seasons, moon phases, and tides. So kind of the end is near. Please make sure you're keeping up with your work and you're reaching out to your teacher if you don't understand something.